Alright, boys and girls, if there's anyone watching that's a female, this video is going to be what it's like driving a boosted car. I've had this car since, October 3rd. I've had it for probably 4 months now, and it's been quite a fun car. It's been 1186 in the quarter, which not the fastest, but I mean, that's decent, honestly. For my first time, it was my 4th pass in this car that I got that PR or PB or whatever. So now we're gonna start it. We'll see if it starts first try. See, didn't start first try. But usually the second time it does start. That's the thing about having a car with some mods done. It does not want to start today. Start it now. As you can hear, probably. Does this when it's been sitting for a little bit, and it's doing it more when it's cold. But it honestly feels like it's gonna blow up when it does this, so it makes me a little nervous. I don't know how loud it is for you guys, but for me it's really loud. Well, not really loud, but loud enough. Our maiden voyage. We're just gonna back her up though. So the best thing about the boosted car though, or well, this car in particular, I'm sure they're all basically the same, but it's really streetable. It makes 551. You gotta add that 1 extra horsepower because every bit counts. But you know, it drives basically like you can't see it, but my mom's Honda Accord. Like, it has really good street manners. But if you want to have race manners, they're there too, with just push down the throttle. Which is probably, that's like one of the main things that is great about this car, is how it's not a race car, but I call it a race car. But 11-second car with the same manners as a everyday traffic car like a Honda Accord or my daily Ford Taurus. That's one of the best things about LSA Supercharger. It has a 2.5 upper, stock lower, and 11 pounds of boost, which it's not the most, but I mean, it gets the job done. More than likely, 8 out of 10 cars on the road's not going to keep up with this. And off topic though, what do you guys think about the helmet? Pretty sweet, ain't it? It's a race quip, solid product. But I guess the other thing about having a boosted car though is gas mileage. Terrible, but I mean, who boosts a car for better gas mileage? Can't see it, but on the G8 they have a little thing that tells you your miles per gallon, and it's getting an average of 10.2 miles per gallon, but my average speed is 21.1 miles per hour, which is not correct. Well, it's correct, but what comes into play is idle time, sitting and idling like we are now. That comes into effect of what your speed and fuel miles per gallon is. And I also might throw in a video too, another off-topic thing here. I got this thing waxed and buffed, absolutely gorgeous, and I'll probably put a clip of that like right now. Other thing about a boosted car, sleeper looks of it is pretty crazy. Because you look at the car, I mean, right now I have a drag radiator on the back, so it looks like it's fast, but if I didn't have that on it, people wouldn't suspect this thing being fast. Granted, people have different definitions of fast, but I mean, 11-second car, that's fast in my books. But you always got people that's like, oh, if it's not 7s, it's not fast. It's like, dude, some people don't have like $100,000 to throw in a car. But yeah, I'm pretty much the friendly manners of this car, and just the sleeper look that it gives off. Because, like, you know, a turbo car, you got bumper exit or hood exit. I mean, you could go rear mount, but you're gonna hear the, you know, this car, you can't even hear a whine. Like, you can a little bit if you're really listening for it, but that, like, you can catch a lot of people sleeping in this car. No one's tried me yet, maybe like 2, but they were like, you know, like dads in their van, or some kid in a Honda, or like a S10. Those don't really count. They're just having fun. But you know, and ever since I got ran over, I hate pulling out of places. And also, you can't see this way, but it's basically grass as tall as LeBron James. And you can't see. The car is really quiet until like you give it gas, and then it gets a lot louder, which is the normal thing that cars do. Which I don't know if the sounds pick up as good on a GoPro as, like, you know, your actual ears, which obviously it's not going to, but you get the idea of what it sounds like. But just really the main thing about a boosted car is, well, a lot of people do them, is they're simple and they work, and they're an OEM blower, so there's no fabricating and fab work and all that goes into like a turbo car or something like that. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're cheaper versus like a turbo or a Pro Charge car. And turbo cars, I mean, they're sick, really sick, but they just don't feel as like they don't feel streetable as a boosted, like a blower car does. Granted, I've never had one, so I can't really be for sure or for certain on that. But I mean, there's a reason why you see more supercharged cars, like I'm just talking strictly like G8s. There's more supercharged like LSA, Maggie G8s than turbo G8s. Of LSA cars, it's really hard to beat that. Like, it just drives like a normal everyday car, but it's got like almost 600 horsepower. It would have 600 if I had a better fuel system. So, and the other thing, like going back to turbo cars, you gotta, mostly when you see those things, they're getting trailered to the events. Granted, you know, some don't, but like for example, this car, since you know it's my car, so I know about it. You can take this thing 40 minutes, race it a couple times, and then drive it home like like nothing. So that's like one of the biggest plus sides of a car in my book. You don't gotta put it on a trailer and haul it to and from and vice versa to your events and stuff that you go to, which is the nicest thing about it. But if you're like me, I'm always worried about something breaking. And I gotta tell myself, if you're gonna own a modified car, things may happen. More than likely will happen. If something's not happening, you're not pushing it hard enough. And like, what's the purpose of having something not pushing it? Which I need to take my own advice on that. But I just don't feel like breaking it. You know, I'd rather have seat time versus just garage time or jack stand time. My engine knowledge is not up to par as well. So, I got a truck in the middle of the road up here. I guess they're, I don't know what to do, got in traffic or something. Not guiding traffic, but they're just doing road work. They do a lot of road work where you guys are from, whoever's watching this video, because it feels like they've been doing this for like ever. And there's not been much progress made.